Hey everybody, Matt Tomasi here, back with Marvel Heroes, and we got patch 2.32 out, and we got a Gambit Design Overhaul. So we got Gambit on the chopping block here, and we'll go over some of the changes that they did to him. They did do a pretty big design overhaul. So I'll start with the design changes first. They changed Beatdown and made it a spirit burner with extra damage versus bosses. That's very interesting. Bow Strike, I don't remember that one too much from before, but it does have spirit per enemy hit now. It might have had that before, I'm not sure. Bow Vault stayed the same. Street Sweep is now an ability that leaves a trail of energy on the ground that does damage twice per second. Savant Expert has changed. It does damage rating, and it has part of one of the red suits worked in there where it gives you health per melee hit. It gives you maximum health and some defense, so that's different. Grand Slam is basically the same, except you can hold down the button and charge it up for extra damage on the base physical damage part of it. And then All In is the same. It might do, I think, the same damage, but maybe just a little bit less spirit. But I think I have spirit reduction gear, so maybe that's why it looks like less. And then in the ranged, I didn't do a lot of the ranged, but it does seem like some of these have changed. Wild Card has plus damage for 5 seconds after you spend spirit. So that's a little bit longer, I think, than what it was before. I think you had to spend it each time to get damage. Ace of Spades is definitely changed. It does energy damage on the initial hit, stuns the enemy, and then blows up for more energy damage. It's got a slower attack speed now. So that's interesting. Royal Flush, the initial hit does a lot more damage, and the explosion does a lot little damage, kind of eliminating the problem that everybody had with it to begin with. Plus, enemies take extra damage if they're hit by Royal Flush for a duration. It looks like it might have sped up a little bit, but I got some attack speed on, so maybe that's what I'm seeing. Dead Man's Hand completely changed. It's not a basic attack, it's now a spirit attack. And each time you fire it off, you get an additional card up to a maximum of 5 cards. So that's how that works now. Kinetic Control, as you can see, is moved down in the tree. It restores 3 spirit per ranged hit, plus spirit, plus damage to ranged powers, and base damage to thrown objects. So it's been worked with a little bit of red and black suits as well. Fold'em doesn't look like much has changed there. 52 card pickup. I'm not even sure why they call it 52 card pickup anymore. You're not actually throwing the cards down to be picked up. What you do is you take the whole deck and you machine gun them off at your target. Hopefully your target. They could hit multiple targets. But to every enemy that got hit by a card, for each card they get hit, they take damage, and then the cards blow up at the end of it and deal more damage. Very interesting. It's on a long cooldown, almost a minute, 52 seconds, and while you're doing that, you negate an additional 52% damage. So you don't have to worry too much about taking damage while you're channeling that. It's not that long of a channel. It doesn't take too long at all. A few seconds, and you blow out those cards. And then House of Cards, I believe, is a new power. It works similar to Caltrips, where you just throw out cards around you. It's considered a ranged area, so that's why it's under Kinetic Mastery. But instead of doing damage over time to the area the cards are in, at the end of the duration, the cards blow up, and it does a reduction to movement speed. As you can see, the Vagabond tree is really reworked here. We got our Good Times roll, which just does movement speed now. Sleight of Hand is the passive. It stays the same, basically dodge, projectile chance, a higher evade chance to completely evade damage from attack. And anytime you dodge, you got that chance to throw a card and do some damage. Cheat Death is now completely passive, so if you die, it automatically regenerates you to full health. and then it has an active effect of being able to break free of a crowd control ability. Sticky Fingers is the same, has rare undefined and credits worked into it. And Raging Cajun is almost the same, except every critical hit you get now reduces its cooldown, making critical hit kind of a strong stat to have. You don't need a ton of critical hit. Somewhere around 20-25% would be more than enough, because it only works twice a second anyways. Depending on your build, you'll probably be hitting 4 or 5 times a second pretty easily. But it does similar things. A lot of damage per hit. You can get 4 hits extra damage basically per second. There's an internal cooldown on that extra damage proccing, and then it has crit rating while active. So that's why I'm saying you don't need a lot of base crit, because you're going to get extra crit once you hit it. It only lasts 10 seconds and has this 30-second cooldown. But like I said, you can burn that cooldown pretty fast and get it back up again. Higher the crit, the faster you burn it down, obviously. So that's making Gungnir probably the best legendary for the character, so you can keep that active, because Gungnir does do a good base damage, and considering you don't have, depending on how you play, you don't really have a ideal legendary other than that anyways, unless you're all ranged, and then the bow would be alright, I guess. I don't think the bow's all that great to begin with, but it's not bad. It's probably equal to Gungnir. If you had no critical strike ability worked into a character, then you could go with the bow, but having that critical strike ability where you can get that kinetic power back up, Raging Cajun is just going to be awesome. So for artifacts, I actually buffed up the melee side of it, going into my build here, and it's basically the Royal Beatdown, because it's a hybrid build allowing you to maintain Royal Flush. So I'm maximizing Royal Flush, and I'm maximizing Bow Beatdown. Even though I don't really use Royal Flush much at all myself, if I want to have the range ability, I do have it. And then I use the Bow Beatdown to really beat on the bosses. I actually beat on the trash with this, because it beats them down a lot faster than Royal Flush really does. Royal Flush is more of, I can't get into the mobs, there's a lot of stuff in my way, I want to be able to do something, so I can Royal Flush them. And we're going to max out Street Sweep. This is going to give us an extra almost 20,000 damage a second, 18,000. We're going to max out Savate Expert. This is going to keep us alive greatly. This is awesome. That health per melee hit comes in very, very handy. That's why we're really maximizing on our melee side. And we're just supplementing with our range side. Also going to max out Raging Cajun. That's going to be maximum buff damage. And finally maximizing Sleight of Hand, increasing our survivability. Keeping us alive, basically. So, for 1-pointers, if you don't have all your extra points out there, be sure that you have a point in Cheat Death, a point in Sticky Fingers, a point in House of Cards, a point in 52-card pickup. Now, why only a point in 52-card pickup? Because the damage really wasn't that different for me. It was a total of 260,000 damage, so 380,000 damage at 1 point for me, and 640,000 damage at max points for me. So it just, at 52 seconds, it just really wasn't worth it. It was basically 7,300 damage a second to 12,000 damage a second. I went with 1 point. It was worth 1 point, wasn't worth maximizing the points. I would have the flexibility of Royal Flush. If I truly wanted to maximize the damage, I could just 1 point in Royal Flush and put it into the 50-card pickup. That option's always available to you. For gearing, I got the Advanced Crimson Crystal of Cedric, the Advanced Kung Fu Training Sequence. This is really buffing up our Bow Beatdown so we hit bosses like trucks. Dr. Doom's Medallion. This helps maintain a much longer Raging Cajun. We get that extra crit rating, all that extra damage. Gives us damage rating, hit points. Against bosses and everything, we'll make them cower in fear when they hit us. And some spirit. Spirit's not going to be necessary, we'll get into that. Advanced Super Soldier Serum for the hit points and the regeneration, and the defense and the attack speed. I got the Pim's Growth Serum, mainly because of the health with some damage rating. More damage rating would be better. So that's not really a good roll for this. I went with River of Souls still on a defensive Euro. Defensive because we're going to be doing a lot of melee, so we need to be able to shed off some of that damage. River of the Soul basically allows me to not even care about a passive. I don't use passives. I got Beatdown on my left mouse button, and that's what I kill trash with. Even though it's a boss attack killer, I'm killing trash with it. I got Royal Flush. I never run out of spirit. I don't have Pim's Growth anymore. Don't need it. I can substitute something else, better damage. If I wanted to, I can go with Advanced Metasensory Arrays if I felt I had enough hit points. However, I like to be able to take a big hit and survive instead of die and rerun. That's just me. Obviously, I'm going with Lemuria still. I do have 3 uniques, and they are pretty strong, actually. They've been reworked tool. The Death's Black Staff is awesome because, again, I'm getting more spirit per hit along with River of the Soul. So, you know, getting that 10 spirit per hit is just, you know, this only costs 6 spirit right here. So I'm making spirit on both Beatdown. And this is 11 spirit, and I'm getting more than 1 hit. And River of the Soul can actually get more than 1 hit off of a Royal Flush if you hit something close and then something far away. That will work. Very interesting that way. And then the Diablo Blanks Blindfold. This is very nice. Reduces the spirit costs. Gives you the chance to become vulnerable. When you hit with range power, you get damage with melee power. So we're working that with House of Cards. And then Remy's lucky deck here. This is pretty nice too. Extra damage with range powers, critical strike, attack speed, rare unfinds, +3 to the Gambit Kinetic Mastery. And then I just got, you know, a pretty decent farming with kinetic control and Raging Cajun boots. And power duration, hit point, and regeneration cosmic coat. All hit points on the costume as my usual strategy. 25% health and hit point, or health and spirit on medkit use. It's my standard go-to method there. Because I don't have a lot of regeneration, I went with regeneration and movement speed insignia. Hit point would be even better, but you know, it is what it is. So I'll go ahead and show how it works in a terminal. And as true to my new form, I'm going to do Cosmic Kingpin just to show that it's very cosmic capable. And for this strategy here, we're going to be hitting everything with bow beatdown. You can see it's got a nice wide swath. We're going to drop House of Cards down to slow them down. It'd be nice if it was an attack speed snare instead of just a slow, but they weren't so kind to us. I'll have that. I'll drop down a Street Sweep just for whatever gets hit by it, gets some extra damage. And if I want to burn it down faster, I'll pop Raging Cajun. Usually that's reserved for yellows because this is strong enough to do the rest of it. And that's the damage from the Street Sweep coming in. That's how it works. So it's pretty wide. It's not necessarily not wide. And that's the House of Cards effect going in the circle around me. It's basically the 52 card pickup old graphic. They just reworked it. I'm fine with it. A little bit of a bug where the graphic wasn't showing and the damage wasn't happening with Street Sweep. I got my bounty around, okay. So I got a yellow, so I'll pop Raven. You can see I'm not really having any kind of issues with Spirit. I can go ahead and shoot out all the spam of Royal Flush I want. Oh, dude, I wonder if I started them. No idea if dupes count as bosses or not, but I can't even see them. I don't know if he disappeared. He must have went away. Or he's still hiding behind that building and I just can't see him. I probably hit him with that 52 card pickup and started his timer, but oh well. Royal Flush, not 52 card pickup. Oh, he's going away. Yeah. Staff procced on him. That's funny. Love his black staff, man. This thing's awesome. Wonder how long the Infinite Spirit roll will play out. I'm loving it. I don't see there's any real issue. Why shouldn't you be able to do all your abilities, you know? If it does, you can just go back to the Pim shrinking. You dodge enough. Get rid of the Pim's growth. Oh, we're almost at our bounty too. Oh, there it is. Oh, look at that, we're right at the end. Perfect. And a Relic of Lemuria. Oh, nice. That's kind of annoying, the damage doesn't get applied. I have to put that in the bug section. So normally I just fire off that 52 card pickup right away. I'm going to finish off these ads if I can. Whoa. Don't get hit by the mortars. And then I'm going to shoot off my 52 card pickup. I'm not sure what happened with the 52 card pickup. That might be another bug. And so if you want to survive a cosmic mortar attack, you now know you need 20,000 hit points at least. So if you first thought I was kind of crazy for the hit points, now you get it. Because I was down to like, what, 100? Now what's nice, if you're wondering where all this health is coming from, there's all these little ground things. There's another. I didn't even see the red X on the ground. All these little street sweeping ground things are melee attacks. There you go. It's much, much better cosmic capable Gambit. That was actually a pretty difficult cosmic octopus with all that going on. Normally 52 card pickup is much easier. Either I interrupted it or he summoned me and interrupted it, but normally what I do is just pop the Rage and Cajun and then you fire it off and you do this. Now it'll fire off. That's about as long as it takes, and then everything that hit blows up for extra damage. No. He did have kinetic control. He must have pulled me in. But oh well. Don't really rely on it. That's why it's only a 1 point. It's not that great. Because everyone's complaining that there's a lack of CC, and Rylander is still saying that, oh, that lack of CC doesn't matter. Sure. But that's the Royal Beatdown. Definitely Cosmic capable. So hope it helps. Hope you guys enjoy. Stay out of the mortars. And talk to everyone later.